G'day, doggies, fans, all things Bulldogs. Sorry, I was a bit late to my own party, but there you go. Been working hard and just got home and wanted to go live. Welcome to anyone who comes on and joins. I've sent it out to a few people. Obviously, there's a lot happening tonight. It's the gala dinner, the season launch, the Hall of Fame announcements, Team Tuesday today, lots to talk about, and all the latest injury news as well. Welcome to everyone who's joined. Come on and say hello in the chat if you've got any questions. Anything you want to talk about. I'm going to go over a fair bit tonight. We'll talk about Carla Luapu. We'll talk about the top 30. If the Hall of Famers are announced, let us know if you're keeping an eye on that. I'll be also looking at that. There's a lot of content from the night, which is on the Bulldogs website. A lot of interviews with the players that go for like 5 and 6 minutes, which would be good to listen to. We're going to unearth the jersey, but I thought what I'd do is just play the little 2-minute video that was just released a bit from our season launch. We'll play that to start with, and then we'll get into it.
To understand who we are, you have to know where we've been. In 1935, from the heart of a working class community, the Berries were born. They weren't legends, they were just regular blokes, mates with a passion for the game and their community. Back then, they couldn't have imagined what they were building, a legacy that would transcend generations, becoming the Bulldogs we know and love today. Rising from humble beginnings, the Berries carved out a path of toughness, leading to future success and a reputation that feared no one. In 1978, the Bulldogs were brought to life, thanks to the vision of Peter Bullfrog Moore. You may know him as the godfather of Belmore, but we know him as the man who brought the family club to existence. It was his belief in people, not just players, that laid the foundation for everything we would become. Bullfrog's dream wasn't just about football, it was about building a community that stood together and a culture that would withstand the test of time. And doesn't it show? From the first whistle till now, through the highs and lows, the beginnings and endings, family is the thread that ties it all together. In the face of change, they're the ones who truly know you and never leave. As we celebrate our proud past, we look ahead to a future just as strong, built on the roots Bullfrog planted so many years ago. Our family is expanding, and now
a new chapter begins.
As the NRLW takes the field, we live through another historic event that confirms our club's story for decades to come. As for the future, our pathways are stronger than ever. From southwest Sydney to Suva, there's a destination for everyone. For 9 decades, our story has been written by those who stood shoulder to shoulder in locker rooms, cheered passionately from the stands, and followed from afar. What started as a dream on dusty fields has grown into something greater, a family that opens its arms to all, offering them a place to call home. We are the Bulldogs.
Proud past, strong future, and a family forever.
Stop. Stop. Welcome back, everyone. Gus can deliver a great speech, can't he? He sure can. I was imagining, I think I was dreaming about one of his speeches last night, to be honest. Dreaming about Gus Gould now. I don't know if it was a dream or a nightmare, but it was, if it results in a premiership, it's a bloody dream. So let's kick things off. Thanks for everyone who's joined so far tonight. It's a big night for the club. They've unveiled the jersey there. If I move my head, so let's see. No, that doesn't work. That's a bit better, is it? No, too much of me there. Here we go. There's the new jersey, or a little bit of it. G'day, Dave. How you going, buddy? And g'day, Pete, who said that the audio was all good. All right, so that's a good way to kick off tonight. If you hear about any of the Hall of Famers before I mention it, feel free to throw it into the chat. This year, again, we'll be getting people on to the podcast. I don't know how long I'll keep going with the StreamYard, but we'll see. But yes, it's been a really good day getting to see the first team list. So we get to talk about the trial, but we'll also unearth a little bit about some injuries that are out there at the moment, who won't be playing for the Bulldogs this year, and obviously the top 30 at the moment. We get to see, just through Serrato naming the side to play in that first trial, we get to see who the core players are in first grade, the ones that have got their spots already. And he's pretty predictable like that, and who's fighting for a spot. So we get to talk about that a little bit as well. So let's get into it. Plus, we'll go over some of the results in the juniors. Been a good start to our Bulldogs juniors across the board. And we also, we had our North Coast Bulldogs and Greater Western Tigers got off to a mixed start to their seasons. But it's all pathways. It's all about getting the individuals from those teams playing NRL at some point and finding the ones that can play NRL and live their dreams that way through playing rugby league. It's not so much about winning the competitions, although they are very nice to win, as we have found in the last couple of years, winning the Harold Matts and the Jersey Flag and going to grand finals in the SG Ball. Plus all the success we've had with our women's junior sides. So let's get into it. Let's look at the team, shall we? I'm going to bring that up right now. So here we go. Oh, that's not very good. I need to change my thing again. Sorry about that. All right, that'll be better. All right. So this is the side taking on the West Tigers. Blake Taff, Blake Wilson, and also Jonathan Sewer on the wings. Luke Smith and Danny Gabriel in the centres. Now, I don't believe Luke Smith will play centre in this match. I could be wrong. But we'll keep naming the side. Drew Hutchison and Joey O'Neill. Daniel Saluka for feeder and Samuel Hughes will start in the prop positions. Bailey Haywood at hooker. Harry Hayes and Lipoi Hopoi in the second row. I'll talk a bit about that. Jamin Salmon at lock. For interchange, which we'll see a lot of these players getting, plenty of minutes. Ruben Moyle, a very deserved spot for him. Tom Amone, Aleka Lasami Jones, or Alec Jones is what I'll be calling him. Jack Todd. And then you've got the big reserves bench. It goes all the way down to 29 players. But what you will see is that against the Broncos next week, they'll only have a squad of 24 or 25. So you've got Cassius Tia, Tay Cochran. So half, we've got a Tay Cochran, who's a fullback, Logan Spinks, who's an edge-back rower, Ratu Renikama, who'll get some time on the wing, no doubt. The first sighting of Zion Maiu'u, Ragarivi Warwick. Now, he's a kid who came up and they touted as a potential fullback or winger from the Cowboys. He was named 18th man in the Jersey Flag last year in the grand final and actually got activated because Jonathan Sewer was knocked out pretty early after looking good early. So he got to play most of the game and did a really good job. So he's adds a lot of depth. Cooper Toy, don't know much about Cooper. Sorry, I'll need to find out. Taniela Otukakolo, Jed Reardon, Gus was asked about him. Would he be heading back to Temora? And Gus says not if he can help it. So that's a good little shout out for Jed. Joseph Teupa, who's a very good talent and played very well in the juniors last year. And obviously Jack Underhill, who will probably be my next player watch, because I just want another chance to show some of his stuff from the Jersey Flegg Grand Final. Having a look at the west side, Heath Mason, who's played a fair bit of NRL. Obviously, Gerald Skelton will have something to prove. Solomona Fatape has played some NRL. Josh Falidi, Alex Lobb, Lockie Galvin, and Latu Fainu, two of the really up-and-coming halves. We'll see how good they go. Now, Tim Johansson, now he's a kid who come from, he's got him and his brother come from Newcastle to the Bulldogs. And Tim was one of our standouts in our Jersey Flegg victory, not last year, the year before. And I was very surprised that he left the club. And he's been rewarded with a contract at the Tigers last year. And I think he made his debut in NRL. But very good player, Tim. And sorry that he left. Talon De Silva is the captain and the hooker. They've got Clemmer, Suka, Sione Fainu, who's the third of the three brothers. Justin Matamua, Tristan Hope, Kit Lalili, Jackson Rami, and Solomone Sakuru. Don't know much of these other fellas. Noah Johansson is Tim's brother. So there you go. It's going to be I can't wait to watch this on Sunday, as I'm sure everyone who follows the Bulldogs will be where I am, and that's in front of the television or at Strata Jubilee Stadium watching the game live in what could be a sellout, being a double header. It's a sellout at Redcliffe. We've got the Bulldogs, the Broncos, Redcliffe, and the Titans all playing that day, and the Dogs playing both matches at 4:30 p.m. in consecutive weeks. But what does this team mean? So getting back, can I scroll the list, mate? Did I scroll it? Was it scrolling? Tell me it's scrolling. No, it's not scrolling. Sorry about that. Let me try something else. Let me try something else. Let me try that. Nope. All right. I must be on the wrong bloody one. Is that why? There we go. Sorry about that, guys. I was actually sorry about that. Really sorry. But these things happen on a live broadcast. So there you go. Blake, I'll read it out again. Blake Taff, Blake Wilson, Luke Smith, Danny Gabriel, Jonathan Sewer, Joey O'Neill, Saluka Fafita, Haywood Hughes, Harry Hayes, Lipoi Hopoi, Jamin Salmon. Now, let's talk about this list a little bit. Maybe I can make it get more on it there. I don't know. Print the team list. Let's look at the forwards. So, looking at this forward pack, obviously Max King, the players you can lock in for an NRL round one start, barring injury, are Max King, Reid Marnie, Viliami Kikau, Jacob Preston, Satili Tuapanua, Josh Curran, and Kurt Mann. Barring injury, all those players will play round one. Yeah, so we'll talk about Luke Smith. I really don't think Luke Smith is a centre. Never seen him that way, and I don't think he's got the speed to play centre. I could be proven wrong, and happy to be proven wrong. He's not a centre. I'm going to say that now. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I've been wrong hundreds of times before. Happy to be wrong again. But I'll say it. He's not playing centre. Harry Hayes is more the build for a centre, and still has quite a bit of speed. I haven't seen Luke Smith demonstrate that sort of speed you need to be a centre. It's interesting because Lipoi Hopoi in round one in New South Wales Cup last year against Parramatta Eels played on the right edge and never played on the right edge or on the edge for the rest of the season after that. He played on that right edge. Him, Toby and Hayes Perham missed, like, for a bunch of the tackles. Not only did they miss tackles, they didn't even get a hand on players from the Parramatta reserve grade side. Now, we went on to win the match, which was sort of hid a bit of that performance. Lipoi, I think, was dropped to Ron Massey after that. Played really well in Ron Massey. Then from that point, was one of our best players in New South Wales Cup and earned himself a spot in the NRL side. So hopefully, I'm not sure if he'll play edge. If he does, I'm sure that he would have worked on a heap of stuff, because we do know that Gus Gould loves his edge back rowers that can play middle or edge or develop from there. Having big bodies on the edge just are really good at stripping defenders away from your centers and wingers. And this is some of the stuff which people tend to, when they get stuck in their super coach or just, tunnel vision on stats or tunnel vision on did we make breaks or not make breaks? They look at a player like Viliami and go, he didn't really do much in attack, but especially in games we win or go close to winning where we've competed, but he's actually been such a presence out there that it's been so good for the likes of the Bronson Cherries, for the likes of the winger in Josh Adokar, who was there, for Matt Burton to play his natural running game. And you saw in the Roosters that Viliami and Burton were just cutting them apart in that game when we led like 26-0 or something, because they had tunnel vision on both those players and didn't know when they were going to run. And the amount of times that freed up the likes of Cherry and the likes of these players, and having these great physical presences on these edges, like Satili Tupanua, like Jacob Preston, like Viliami Kikau, is so important to our backline's attack. And in the case of defence, it's real important as well, because it enables them to make more of the right choices, because players that are big and are fierce and have got speed and chase hard and push out wide the way we do and use that cover to push to the edges are so important. And this is what these players like the Luke Smiths and the Harry Hayeses and all that are coming through, the Logan Spinkses, they've got to be able to emulate that sort of stuff. Like Jacob Preston's and will never play reserve grade again, I don't believe, unless he's coming back from a long-term injury, hopefully not, touch wood. But we are stacked in our edge ability, and that's so good. But let's talk about... G'day, TM. Welcome to the podcast, mate. And you've got your 90-year commemorative jersey. Sorry, I'm covering... I can see a little bit of it there in my background there for you. So, yeah, in this trial, I think you'll see that, I'm surprised Janari Tuala wasn't there. Just talking about injuries before I go further. So, Jacob Carraz apparently has a minor injury that was announced today and may not play in any trials. Mitch Woods, his mum was on SEN today, and she was talking about the NFL player with the Philadelphia or the Eagles that just won, whatever their names are. I don't really care, but the Aussie guys, obviously from the Bankstown Juniors, and she taught him at high school, and she's also Mitch Woods' mum, and wanted Mitch to play AFL for the Swans, but that's another matter. But she talked about Mitch, and then he's got a hamstring injury, and I think Willie sort of alluded to it a little bit. I hadn't really heard much about it, but she said he won't be playing any rugby league until the end of March, and I think that's not a bad thing, to be honest, because I sort of want him to come in without too much fanfare and just play his game, and I want that for all the halves, and it's a good opportunity for players like young Joey O'Neill and the like to get their opportunity. But this game, trial versus Wests, this is our reserve grade backline, pretty much. I don't think Luke Smith is going to play centre. That doesn't make sense to me. But, Serrato likes to throw up a surprise every year, so we will see. But Blake Taff will start New South Wales Cup at fullback unless there's an injury to Connor Tracy. Blake Wilson, I believe, will start in New South Wales Cup unless there's an injury to Marcelo Montoya or Anari Tuwala. I think Tuwala will be playing centre in New South Wales Cup to start the season with Danny Gabriel potentially. And it's good to see him get himself that starting spot there with Jonathan Sewer on the wing, and Jacob Carraz will be the first grade winger to start the season, in my humble belief. Drew will obviously be the 5'8" in New South Wales Cup, and he has the luxury of being able to play in the centres as well. And we might see Drew go to left centre in this match, and they may bring on Ruben Moyle to play in the halves quite quickly to partner with Joey O'Neill. I think Blake Taff will play half a game, and then they'll bring on the likes of either Ruggieri, Tay Cochrane will come on. So that's how I think they'll play it. But we'll see what happens there. I'm not sure how many minutes we'll see Jamin Salmon and Bailey Hayward play for. But let's talk about the positions that are vacant, that are being fought for, because outside of all those ones I mentioned, Daniel Saluka Fafita and Samuel Hughes, I believe, are in a battle for one position on the, whether it be starting or on the bench. So Josh Curran will be on the bench, I believe. Kurt Mann will start at lock, and Satili Tupanua, I think it'll be out actually. Although I don't believe Satili Tupanua has played much lock, I actually think he might be the one who starts outside of Kurt Mann. I've just got this feeling about that, but I could be wrong. It's just a feeling. I don't really know. Considering we are so stacked on those edges, I don't think there'll be a desire to have our edges play. I think going into every match, the people picked on the edge, Kickow and Preston, will be there to play a full 80 minutes. I don't think there'll be a desire to replace those players unless they've just had to defend too much or whatever, or they're worried about an injury and they need a break. But I think that they're going to play them 80 minutes every week. And I think Tupanua might form part of that middle rotation with Mann, which means that Hayward and Salmon may actually be fighting for a spot in the top 17. That's where some of the things are going to be really hard to pick when it comes to round one. But I believe Daniel Saluka Fafita and Samuel Hughes are fighting for one spot within the squad. I really believe that. I think Harry is going to play New South Wales Cup. I think Luke Smith's going to play New South Wales Cup, both on the edge. I think Hopboy will form part of that middle rotation. I don't think Tom Amone will be playing first grade to start the season. Starting on the bench in this first round would show to me that his fitness isn't at some of the levels of some of the other players. But we will see. We will see how he goes on the weekend. But I've got a feeling it might be a few weeks before he makes his way into that NRL side. And once he does, I think he'll be a permanent fixture. Jack Todd's one I think we will expect to see him debut at some point, whether through injuries or through just form. It's one of those things, where these youngsters that you want to get a go, well, if we're winning matches in first grade, which we want, there's less chance of these kids getting a go unless it's through injury or through, a really good rotation policy, which it's hard for coaches to do, to drop players when you're winning games. So it's a catch-22, isn't it? Because you want to see Jack Todd and you want to see players like Jack Underhill and all these kids, Logan Spinks and the like, get a go. So, yeah, I'm not sure if Shaman Salmon will be, if he's in that first 17. I'm really not sure about that now. I think he's struggling to make that first NRL squad. I think him and Bailey may both struggle. I think Kurt Moran might be ahead of both of those for a top 17 spot. But we will see. It's a really good problem to have. Joey O'Neill, to me, is your next man up. And I think we'll see a lot of, obviously Cassius Tia will come on in that second half and play in the halves. Drew will probably have a rest. And Joey might have a rest as well, because there's quite a bit of talent there coming through. Excited to see Ratu Rinikama. He's been a standout playing in that side with Mitchell Woods since Harold Matts, and then coming through the grades as well. So let's check it out. Further to that, on the left attacking side, we need speed on the end of a Burton kick out Cherry. Blake Wilson suits that role perfectly, fast and evasive, more like Jack than any other. Well, I think, Mark, I would think Jonathan Sewer fits that role in my eye more perfectly. But we'll see, because the numbers are always, it's like they chop and change sometimes. Josh Morris used to be number 3 and play the left centre. Then they had Jake Averillo playing left centre and mixed him around, and then he was right centre, and they changed the number to 3 to 4, and same with the wingers, what the wingers wore. Unless I'm just crazy, but I swear the numbering is swapped, and not all teams do it the same way. It's weird, but I think you'll find that Jonathan Sewer is a ready-made replacement for the left wing. He's fast, plus he has that good ball carrying ability and great finishing ability. I still think Blake Wilson could be a fullback. Jono can also kick goals as well. Yeah, I think Tuala will play centre against the Broncos as well. I agree with you there. Pete says Hughes will play hard to keep his spot with contenders for Feeder and Amone. 100%, Pete. I think it'll be Hughes. I think Hughes is a player that's like a stayer. He's fit, but he needs to just get as much footy week in, week out as he can get, because I think they see Sam Hughes as a, 40, 50 minute plus player in the long run. And he is big. Like, he's not small at all. He is tall and he's heavy. And once he gets cranking, like, I think in probably year 3, year 4 of first grade, we've got ourselves a real prominent hard nut to complement our pack at any time. And he's already impressed a lot of people. For some people think he's overrated too. I'm certainly not in that camp. I think Sam Hughes needs to have the pressure on him. And I think Daniel Saluka for Feeder is the front runner. I think from what I'm hearing at training is Amone's not, his fitness just isn't there yet. And it's going to take him a lot longer to acclimatise. But the fact that he's, he hasn't had too many injuries. He's had a few injuries in England as well, but will hold him in good stead. He's just got to acclimatise, and they need to make sure they manage the people coming back from England well properly, because we saw what happens when you rush them. They just get injured and they don't they don't play any games. We saw that with Luke Thompson. He just rushed in before he was ready, and it just cost us big time and a lot of salary cap for nothing. So I'm not discounting him, Monet. I'm not discounting him at all. That's not discounting him. I think it's just there's a reality thing there that some players are fitter than others. And from what I heard is that his fitness isn't quite where some of the others are. So once he gets that fitness, as I said, he'll come in and be a strong contributor to the team and to the club. Looks like a battle between Hayward and Salmon also. Well, I initially thought that, Pete. I thought it was a battle between Hayward and Salmon to start. And it could be. You know, the fact Jake Turpin isn't playing, so he must have an injury. Because I can't see that he's elevated above some plays. But Jake Turpin is a 98% efficient tackler at hooker. So he makes his defence. He's a great defensive hooker. And there's teams that would love to have that ability. And he can throw a ball off the deck, and his speed of pass is pretty quick. It's funny, I was listening to some jokers talking about the Bulldogs, and, you know, it was only done 5 days ago, and they were saying that Carlo Luapu will be playing, will kick Toby Sexton out of the halves this year. This is from a Bulldog supporter. And then he named his side, and I was like, oh, my God. I don't want to put people down, but it's like, mate, I forget the name of the podcast, something about beers and throwdowns or some shit, frothies or something. The Bulldogs preview for this year, and a couple of them were, I didn't mind what they had to say, but yeah. One of the big things they were talking about is that Burton will be under a lot more pressure of his kicking game this year. And I'm like, you think teams haven't been attacking Matt Burton kicking the ball at Canterbury since he come to the club? He's been under constant pressure. It's like, what are they fucking talking about? The reason he's able to do a lot of what he does is because what I was saying, the speed of pass from Reid Marnie. Reid Marnie's passing was a feature last year. It didn't get talked about enough. The amount of times he brought the likes of Sexton onto the ball at the advantage line, like massive long passes, doesn't get enough reps. And it's good to have a player like Jake Turpin who can do that. And it's good to have a player like Bailey Hayward who'll be developing that part of their game. We saw Bailey play hooker in the game against the Sharks last year, and he had a great game until he threw that tired pass, which they got the intercept from and beat us in the trial. They then beat us in round 2, but we got revenge and won by that golden with that field goal from Burton later in the year, which was very important in our roll of wins that we had. But it's just good that we've got a hooker that can deliver balls like that. 2023, Marnie was hit and miss. He struggled. Got to him being captain. He's doing too much defense, which was taking it out of him as well. Last year, his passing was back to where it needed to be. And it's better he's a better passer of the ball than Harry Grant. He just doesn't have the running game of Harry Grant. But, you know, Harry's got the chocolates as the best hooker in Queensland, no doubt. But Reid could get to that level. And it would help Reid if we have a lot more possession and win a lot more games. I can tell you that. That makes him so much more better in attack, which is why people have the argument we need to replace Reid and give him less minutes so he can be more effective over that period and not dilute his effectiveness over 80 by bringing in a player like Bailey Hayward or Jake Turpin to give him a break. Salmon loses that battle. I don't believe he loses a battle, Ma. Like we say these things because we have personal opinions. And we want to see the locals come through. But Jamin Salmon is a very much trusted player in this club, an experienced premiership winner with a lot of versatility and a lot of knowledge of the game. And he's a footballer with a good mind and can read the numbers really well as well. Featured prominently in a couple of our wins that would not have happened without him being there. In saying that, Bailey Hayward won us the game against the Cowboys, and they had the try taken off him. So, and he definitely had moments where he contributed as well. It's horses for courses. It's a 30-man squad. It's a 27-round competition, and then hopefully a semi-final series. That's the game, and that takes more than two people fighting for a spot. Whatever the case is with this trial, I believe that both players will feature prominently in our team over the season and contribute to whatever good stuff that we do. So look, both get hit hard in the back when they engage the line. Bailey's leg speed was a feature last year in defence. His line speed was a feature, and really suits the style of defence that helped us win matches last year. Jamin isn't quite as sprightly as Bailey Hayward, but he's a 5'8". That's his background. Bailey though was a general growing up. He's always been a halfback. So yeah, both are going to complement our sides very well. I don't think it's a battle between the two of them. I think that Satili Tupanua features prominently in our, him and Kurt Mann, I think, will be the ones playing the lock for some reason. I think Curran will play that extra prop off the bench as he did last year, and we'll see his minutes similar to a Max King's at the end of the year. And then it's whether they carry a player like, I think Tomamone might be competing with the Kurt Morin for a spot. And then you got the likes of, if Curran goes down, Harry Hayes comes in, or Hip Boy comes in, or Jack Todd. Because Jack can play some minutes too. And we know Jack Underhill, by the time he's ready for first grade, playing 45, 50 minutes, 60 minutes won't be a problem for him once he gets to where he's going. So that's the future coming through. And then there's the new black, maiu'u. What do we expect out of him? Are we going to go to more towards that plan of having two dominant props and then that third dominant player that comes on? Because that's been the Penrith way. And I always talk about the Penrith way. Fisher Harris, Leota, Spencer Leniu. All right. Harris and Leota play their 20, 25 minutes each. Leniu comes on, plays 25 flat out. And then the other two rotate their way on. And then they have, those other players like Sorensen and the like. They'll be there again this year, Penrith. But surely their halves, I just don't. Jack Cole and probably get egg on my face. Jack Cole and Schneider are two really good young football players. But I think they need more than that to complement Cleary. And if Cleary goes down, they're in big trouble. Amani on benchmark. If he's fit enough, we'll see. Bye-bye, Carl. Good luck to the Dolphins, mate. So it's been not reported, but they're sort of gone cold on it. But he wasn't named in the top 30 tonight. It's not been talked about, but it was an amicable split. And, he's happy. The club's happy. Everybody's happy. And it all come down to what I would believe, if a couple of doctors say you're going to hurt yourself if you play rugby league, and a club says that's good enough for us, we don't think you should play. Player thinks he can. Look, there was a doctors who told Brent Tate that he couldn't play again. He wore that thing. Josh Morris was the same. I'm pretty sure, had a guard. They wear the guard, reduces the risk a little bit. I don't know if there's a guard that Carlo Luapu can wear, but we'll see. I don't think it's the same injury, but can never be too careful. Zion, Jamie says. Yes, so we'll get to see Zion make his debut for the club, and I'll tell you what, it was good to watch all these highlights. I want to see what he does in defence. That's where my interest lies at the moment, how they go about it in the defence. I believe Underhill will feature in the second half of the year. He may or may not. I think Jack Underhill did a good job stepping up to New South Wales Cup last year. I think he will make his debut. Yes, I do believe it'll be in the second half of the year, barring injury and barring how well the Dogs are doing. If we've got players like Kickout playing for Fiji and Preston get, if you're Laurie Daly and you're looking at Jacob Preston, they've got the likes of Murray, Cam Murray, and who they throw on an edge, and Angus Crichton. I rate Jacob Preston at that level. I really do. Prestomania. There it is, Prestomania. Little clock I made. Prestomania. Steve Folkes up in the background there, big kicks. Oh, if we're having a good season, these players are going to be in line to represent Origin. If that's the case, hopefully we get to bring in some of these youngsters during that Origin period. That's obviously getting ahead of myself, but it would be great to see some of our players rewarded, as 18th man in Origin. Bit early, Mark, unless a lot of injuries, etc. Yeah, look, Pete, you're right. I think there's a big chance I just have a lot of faith in the kid. As he's not the best prop forward in the club, but I think one day he will be. But yes, I'll tell you what. Anyone else got any thoughts on the trial match? So I believe that in round one we'll see Saluka Fafita or Sam Hughes start. Both will be in the top 19s. I think both will be in the extended squad named on Team Tuesday. I'm not sure which one will play. Both may play. They may go for that could be it. It could be it. I don't know. Are they going to play small ball, or are they going to prepare for Leo Thompson coming, where they have Max King, Leo Thompson? So, Saluka Fafita's off contract this year. Will he be a Bulldog in 2026? We don't know. We don't know at all. But I'll tell you what. Let's have a look. Jamie says we're up against Skelton. Thoughts, mate? Good look at the cup side. Well, that's it. It is the cup side. that's playing against the Tigers pretty much. Mark's on the record saying Fafita's on the bench. Hughes misses out, which is same shame considering his stats. I really don't know. Both are starting in this match, and I think both look that they both could be playing round one, but I believe it'll be one of the two, and I believe there'll be a fight to the finish on that. I really do. Let's have a look at some of our juniors, eh? Let's have a look at it. So Harold Matts, before we do that, we'll look at the ladders. SG Ball, they've had 1 win, 1 loss, and they play the Warriors this week, who have started the season pretty poorly. So good chance for the Dogs to get up in the top 5 after 2 rounds. In SG Ball, we lost our first game pretty comprehensively against the Raiders, but bounced back last week and smashed the Magpies. So that was good. In Harold Matts, we're sitting 10th. We got smashed by the Magpies, who are basically the benchmark of the comp. The Rabbits are going to be, that's going to be a good game. They also look pretty good to start the season. The Doggies, though, I think the Doggies this year making the finals will be exactly like where they belong. But they're not going to have, they've been minor premiers basically the last 2 years, or they were finished second after the rounds in 2023. Minor premiers last year, beaten by the Warriors, who went on that amazing run just to make the finals and then won the grand final. But they play the Tigers, so big chance for them to climb up the ladder next week and get some good for and against. But if we look at the sides, I did a feature on young Chinadu Uday, and got lots of views. Thanks to everyone who had a look at that. But he scored the first try in both matches, so he's the captain, the 5'8". Some really good players coming through, and hopefully the Tigers haven't named their team yet, but young Fiafaki Tupanua, Brafe Sloan's got big raps on him as well. But Gus said that Chinadu, a great kid, been in the system a while, and he looks like he's going to have every chance to be successful. So it's good for him. But some interesting players playing an SG Cup as well. So let's have a look at that. So Callahan, Bronson Rubin at 5'8", Alex Conti, the captain. So these kids are definitely got big futures, and also in this Halves Academy. Oliver Smith, big raps on him. And Alatini, another one. G'day, guys. Sorry we cut out there. Been having a lot of internet issues. I have my bills paid before they even arrive, mate. I don't see a bill because they are budget, everything. So I don't even know where we're bloody up to, but I was talking about the Harold Matt side. I was talking about how they're going. We're coming second, equal first on the ladder in Tasha Gale, Lisa Fiola. We're equal first as well. Bulldogs and the Eels and Roosters all carving up in that competition. Roosters haven't had a point scored against them yet, and we've only had 4. 104 and 4 against in Lisa Fiola. Yep, so sorry about we cut out there. Still got 18 viewers, which is pretty amazing, but yeah, I don't know when we cut out. I was looking at the team list, I couldn't see, and then I got back and it said I wasn't even there. So sorry about that. I might have to try and edit that out when I do at some point. But that threw me off a little bit there, guys. Fucking StreamYard and the internet. So Ryan Sutton still in the top 30 at the thing tonight. I was worried he might have been leaving the club, but Gus mentioned that someone asked about is he recovered from a knee injury or how's it going, and he said very slow. It's a very slow process for Ryan Sutton. So people naming him in their round 1 side. Unless Gus is playing games, it doesn't look like he'll be playing rugby league for a while. We'll have to see what happens. El Magic's in the Hall of Fame. Great to hear. Have we got the others that have been named? It better be Steve Folkes. It has to be Stephen Folkes, for God's sake. Let's go to Bulldogs. We unveil our inaugural NRL women's squad. Yeah, lots of stuff happening. The Bulldogs website's doing really well lately. It's putting up a lot of historical games. It's definitely a lot more content coming through. So well done to them. But I found a website that I had no idea existed. Called I forget what it's called now. Canterbury History Group. Oh, no, it's not that. I talked about it the other day. I have to go find it again and look for it. Because it's got literally every Bulldogs player that's ever played for the club. Bulldogs History Database. Here it is. Let's have a look at it. Amoni is fitter than Fafita. Know this firsthand. Well, g'day, Frosky Co. My name's Michael. What's your name, buddy? It's the Bulldogs History Database. I'm going to show it in a minute. I've heard that I heard that's not the case. But there you go. But you might be right. Maybe Fafita needs to start to get that residual fitness, and Amones doesn't. Maybe he is fit up. Maybe he can start on the bench and just come on and play as many minutes as he wants. I hope you're right for his sake. But I've heard that, I've heard different. And I've heard that Fafita's been absolutely killing it in training. So that's what people are saying, but you're saying something different. And I'll take it on board. I hope you're right. I wish them all the best. I want them all to be at their fittest, and I want survival of the fittest for our Bulldogs. I want there to be too many good players. I want there to be too many good juniors. I want there to be heartbreak for people, because when there's heartbreak for players in our club, it means they weren't able to crack it because there were players that were more suited to our club and better for our club. And that's the way it is. As they say, iron sharpens iron. G'day, Adam. How you going, mate? Hope it's all well with you. Yeah, 100%, brother. 100%. So let's have a look at this Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs database, because can someone tell me, if you know, do the Bulldogs actually do this? They should promote it. I think from this history database, every single day on the Canterbury Bankstown website, they should be celebrating the birthday of one of these players every day. It's these players' birthdays every day. Here's their stats. Here's some vision. They play this many games. There's Facebook sites that do a really good job of it. And, while they're doing that, that's fantastic. But I think the club should do it. The club should make podcasts redundant, in my opinion. Why not dominate this space is what I'm saying. And just have us all want to be a part of what the Bulldogs put out officially. The first priority is to win games of football, obviously. But I'm going to have a look at this website. The Bulldogs history database. Look at that. What a great thing. It's got all our coaches, everyone who's coached the Bulldogs. It's got every game that we've ever played. We've won 50.2% of matches. Scored 33,973 points and let in 34,672. That's pretty close over 1,963 games. That's amazing. It's got all our records. So if you're into that stuff and interested about the club's records, our highest crowd, 2014 grand final versus the Rabbits, 83,833. It's got all the player records. Who holds all the club records? Hazem El Masri. So you got the points records. Hazem, then Darryl, then Terry, then Steve Gearin. Les Johns. 103 games, 14 tries, 232 goals, 20 field goals. Josh Morris, 103 tries. Terry Lamb, 123 tries. Amazing stuff. It's got all our try record holders, goal record holders, games records. This is great stuff. Get onto the Bulldogs player website, bulldogs.eastgatemultimedia.com, and it's all there for everyone to see. If this isn't funded by the Canterbury Bankstown Club, I think they should fund this. And I'd like to see videos as well brought into this in line with it. Anyway, I'd pay for that. I'd pay extra as a member to have all that stuff at my disposal, because it's better than watching home and away. Give me an excuse to leave the room. I haven't watched home and away since Bobby killed Alex, or whatever happened. Anyway, I'm laughing to myself. Adam says he cannot wait till the season starts. Well, it's this Sunday, trial match, Adam. If you can get yourself to a pub, if you can get KO, I don't know, you'll be able to see it on Fox Sports. It's all history, but I saw on Fox Lead our club sign a couple of players recently. Yes, we have. We have signed Zion Maiu'u and Leo Thompson for next year. So there you go. Have we got any more word on the Hall of Fame? So congratulations to Hazem El Masri. He is in the Hall of Fame from there, I think. So I lost the feed at 9:05. Okay. The pathways are strong again this year. The girls look invincible. Yeah, well, there's a lot of them there too. So there's a lot of them that aren't getting it, that don't get a game because our side's so good. So there you go. I'm broke ass man, can't afford that love. I'm looking forward to seeing Leo Thompson. Me too, mate. Adam, you might, if you can get down to a pub or something, you might be able to see it on at the pub. Find out in your area where they're playing it. You might be able to go there and watch it there. G'day, Timmy. Welcome, my friend. You champion. Love that bloody Bulldogs jersey you're wearing. You got, is that last year's one, is it? The 2004 anniversary against the Roosters jersey. That was pretty lucky for us. That was good when we wore that. And the only thing that sucked about that match is that we played so well in that first half. We should have won that game, 40-0. Would have been fantastic, but ended up going down to the bloody wire. Oh, I hope you can get down there, my brother. I hope you can get down and watch it. We'll see how you go, eh? Yeah, so, look, getting back to this Bulldog side, Connor Tracy will be your fullback. Jacob Carraz and Montoya, I believe, will be on your wing. And Cherry and Crichton will be your centres. Burton and Sexton will be your halves. That's who will start in round one, unless there's an injury. That's what I believe. And I think most people would agree. Max King and Reid Marnie will be in your front row. Who's going to join them? Will it be Daniel Saluka Fafita or Sam Hughes? I'm leaning to Sam Hughes. And we still got this comp on, okay? So we need to, whoever wins that comp, I'll contact you and you can win some merch. All right? Kickow and Preston will be on the edge. And I think Kurt Mann will start at lock. I think Tupanura will be the 14. That's what I think is going to happen now. Okay. So out of that, I think there's only one position up for grabs. And I think it's who starts at prop alongside Max King. I really do. I think the rest is already known. Unless there's an injury. Okay. No matter what happens in these trials. I think Curran's definitely there. Tupanua's definitely there on the bench. Either Tupanua or Mann. But they're both going to be there. And the final two spots, I think, will come down to Salmon, Hayward, Moran, Saluka Fafita, and potentially Harry Hayes. But it could also be Tom Amone. So we'll throw him in there as well because, if one of you guys tells me you've heard something, I'm going to take it on board, and then we'll learn. If what you tell me works out to be 100% correct, we're going to listen to you every time you talk, right? And we hope you come on and say it again. Tell us some other news. But the people who tell me stuff, and I've only got a couple of people, like really, I only know a couple of people who know a couple of people, and I don't claim, and most of the time I won't share stuff. But everything they've said to me has been true. Okay? Everything. So when they talk, I bloody listen. I stop talking and my ears open and I listen. So hopefully, Froggy, whatever you've you know, you've told me Tomamone is ahead of Saluka Fafita at this point, fitness-wise. Good to know. Good to know. Thank you for sharing. Timmy Ward at the New South Wales Cup Grand Final day. Sure, and I think that's where you got the photo. Yeah, I like it too, Timmy. Mark's got the comp in the bag. Well, it's good I'll be able to hand deliver the stuff to you. Yeah, Tomamone was a signing for us. Yep. Some players looking to impress for round one with Fafita named to start this Sunday. You think he'll be in the side for round one? Yeah, I think it comes down to him or Hughes play round one. But there's obviously also the chance both of them will, you know, and you'll have Hughes, Fafita, and King as your rotation. But I think you'll find Curran will remain as part of that rotation, and only one of those players will make the round one side. That's where I'm leaning. I, like many people, would love to see that bigger, more powerful bench. That's sort of, you know, it's just in our DNA to think that way. And a lot of people share that belief, you know, having the likes of a Fafita and a Hughes and a King and a Curran, you know. But I've got a feeling the likes of a Curtis Moran would be ahead of those, one of those players. Could be the case. Could be the case. I already answered it. I answered at the start when we started. So thanks to everyone who's jumped on and said hello so far. It's been really, really good. If there's any more information that's come up, let me know, especially in regards to the Hall of Fame stuff. Actually, I might jump onto Facebook. So I know someone who'll be sitting there at the night instead of watching it, watching what's happening. We're sitting there bloody posting shit on Facebook. And while I'm at it, sorry guys, Pete's done a good job on the All Things Bulldogs Facebook page. He shared a heap of the videos from the night already, and a heap of content already. Someone's tried to put something else through there. But I'm just trying to find out any information I can at the moment. Hazemil Masri inducted into the Hall of Fame. Is there anyone else yet? Is there anyone else? Who's been inducted? That's what I want to know. Only Hazem has been announced from what I can see. Is Joey at the... I'm pretty sure Joey would be there at the night, wouldn't he, Mark? He'll have his phone in one hand and he'll be uploading stuff, photos and whatever else on Microsoft Publisher and all that sort of stuff. Publishing stuff while it's all happening in front of him. Good on him. So he's already done a big commemorative for Hazem. Honestly, you could have picked that one though. Honest believe it'll be Hazem, Stephen Foulkes, and Bullfrog Moore. That is the hot tip. And let's share that on All Things Bulldogs now. Sorry, guys. Little bit stop and start tonight. Yeah, I'd assume. Joey's there. He goes to the game, some games, and he's bloody posting shit instead of watching the game. I can't do that. I'm invested at that game. The channel can wait. It doesn't matter if we're first or last to post something. If you're at the game, fucking watch it. Scream. Let everyone know who you are. You're a fucking Bulldog supporter. And that's all that matters. And I swear most of us are like that. That's why we're hated. Because we just fucking love our team. Night, Pete. Thanks again, Mick. Looking forward to Sunday. We'll post updates on the group. Cheers and go the doggies. Adam, this year I'm going to try to go to a home game. I hope you can get there, my friend. And I hope they win for you. Yeah, and thanks, mate. Thanks, heaps, Pete. Much appreciated. And good night to you, my friend. We'll chat on the phone soon. Night, Pete. So, yeah, guys, I reckon probably a good time to say goodbye. Have we talked about everything yet? Yeah, so Mitchell Woods is injured. He'll be out until the end of March, said his mum. Get out there and watch the juniors if you're in Sydney and you can watch them. Go see them. Go support them. They love it. Cheer them on. Get to know their names. Talk about them. A lot of them won't make NRL, but some of them will, and some of them will have to go to other clubs or whatever. But when they start as a Bulldog, they're always a Bulldog. Remember that. Even if they throw on an Eels jersey and you want them to break their leg because we're playing against the Eels. That's only while the game's on. When it's finished, you want them to feel good and be happy, and you want them to do well in other games. But when the Bulldogs play the Eels, I just have no soft spot for anyone there. I just can't. I liked Matt Dury. I love Joash Papali, Love him almost, as much as Mark O'Connell. I love the Fox. But when the Bulldogs play them, I'm hoping we smash them. Absolutely smash them. I hope they all cry. That's how I feel. Night, my bro. We will talk soon. Good night, Bulldogs family. Oh, you connected with CJ's mum. Good on you, Timmy. She's a lovely lady, Elaine. She's been on the Facebook sites and so shout out to Elaine. Has Mick Potter been announced as New South Wales Cup coach? I don't think Mick Potter's the New South Wales Cup coach, Mark. I think Mick Potter's moved on. I didn't, they showed those team photo days. I didn't see Mick. They showed like side on views and stuff. I never saw Mick. But he might be still the New South Wales Cup coach. But if he's not, it's probably because he doesn't want to. And if he is, it's because he wants to. I really think it comes down to that. I really do. The 6 Bulldogs at the Eels. Tony Katonga, Joash, Jordan Samrani, Matt Dury. Well, he was a Parramatta junior anyway. And then who you got? The Fox. I forget who else is there. Oh, Sean Lane was a Bulldog, wasn't he? We traded him for Tala Mariner. Yeah, I can't believe he went to the Eels, mate, but they needed a player like him, and he doesn't have much option. He wanted to stay at the Bulldogs, mate. Trust me, he wanted to stay a Bulldog. Joe staying on the bench for the Eels. I'll try to make it to one of the local clubs in Penrith to watch the trial match this Sunday. Awesome, Timmy. Yeah, it'll be good to see. I'll be watching that Parramatta game with interest as well. I'll be wanting them all to do well, except for when we play them. If that makes sense. All right. Well, if there's nothing more to share, waiting. Canterbury Bankstown side. It was announced 44 minutes ago that Haslam was a Hall of Famer. Who's that? Who else was named? Johnny Greaves has been inducted into the Hall of Fame as well. And his niece Kim proudly accepted the honour on his behalf. So congratulations to Johnny Greaves. And on the Bulldogs history database, I can tell you about Johnny Greaves. Let's have a look at him. John Greaves, Bulldog number 303. Centre or wing. Played 112 first grade games for 38 tries, 27 goals, 168 points. He was a captain in 1971. He was made captain midway through the season and continued on as captain in 1972. He captained the... I should bloody show you this. I should show you this. He also played for 28 games for St. George on the wing. He joined the Dogs in 1964 and played on for about another 11 seasons. He was named in the Berries to Bulldogs 70-year team of champions at centre. And in April 2007, he was inducted into the Bulldogs Ring of Champions. He played for New South Wales and Australia, played 7 games for New South Wales and 8 tests for Australia. He was part of the 67-68 Kangaroos and played in the 1968 World Cup. He was born on the 8th of May, 1943. He come from Portland, New South Wales. His junior club was Renown United. And so there you go. But I'll just make sure. Yeah, there was only one Johnny Greaves. So congratulations to John Greaves and his family. They were named. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame. And we're waiting to see if... We are waiting to see. Thanks, Adam. He was an awesome player. So you can get onto there, Adam, and have a look at all the history of the Bulldogs. Bulldogs.eastgatemultimedia.com is the Bulldogs history database, or Google it. And you can see every player that's ever worn the blue and white. So there you go. So we're still waiting to see who is the third inductee. Congrats for being the second inductee into the Hall of Fame, which takes us to 7 inductees. Eddie Burns, Paponis, Stevie Mortimer, Terry Lamb, Les Johns, Hazem El Magic, and Johnny Greaves. And hopefully we get to see Stephen Folkes as the next one. I really hope it's the case. I really do. There's a lot of people with who are very passionate about Stephen Folkes, and rightfully so. I know he's got either a niece or a closely related relative in the females who plays rugby league as well. She might not be in the Bulldogs area though, but I'm pretty sure she was coming on the scene last year related to Stephen Folkes. So we might see the Stephen Folkes name come through the WNRL at some point. G'day, AK. The Bulldogs Hall of Fame has welcomed 3 more members with legendary figures John Greaves, Stephen Folkes, and Hazem El Masri. So thanks for sharing that, brother. Stephen Folkes named in the Hall of Fame. That's outstanding. It's Folkes. Thank you so much for sharing that. Check the link. I need to go and have a look at the Bulldogs. They haven't put it on their website yet, the Canterbury Bulldogs. They've only got Johnny and Hazem on there so far on the Facebook site. But let's have a look at I'm sure it'll be announced shortly. I can't see any link to it, unfortunately. Where's the link, mate? Where's the link? Share the link for us and I'll click on it. But we're hearing from AK that Stephen Folkes is the 3rd inductee, which is fantastic. And let's have a look at Stephen Folkes. We all know a lot about Stephen Folkes, but here he is here. He joined Canterbury in 1977, the year I was born, as a halfback. Become a regular member of the under-23s team and played in the playoffs. In 78, Stephen started the season in under-23s, but became a regular member of the reserve grade team as a lock forward. Interesting, because we're seeing a lot of our halves coming through as those small locks now. What's old is new again. He scored 4 tries in a game against the Rooters, which remains a record for reserve grade. Stephen received the opportunity to play first grade as a replacement player. In 79, he became a regular member of the first grade team and played in the grand final against the Dragons that we lost. But we played quite well and we were coming to get him at the end. In 1980, he moved to the second row and played in a premiership winning team against Eastern Suburbs. In 81, he started the season at 5'8", as Gary and Mark Hughes were unavailable, but he returned to the forwards for the rest of the season. He remained a consistent performer in 1982 and played in the preliminary semi-final against Parramatta in 1983 as the lock forward. So we made that prelim in 82. In 1984, Stephen captained the team in 1 match, and he captained Canterbury on 16 other occasions between 1984 and 1988. Stephen played in the premiership winning side against Para, and in 1985, he played as well. So he played in both of those premiership wins. On the 15th of December 1985, Steve was awarded life membership of the club. I think they're about to announce Darren Smith and James Graham as life members in 2025, just as a side note. In 86, he played tests for Australia, played Origin for New South Wales, played in 9 Origin matches between 86 and 88, a period where we struggled a fair bit. We won in 86. We won in 85 and 86, but from 87 and 88, we got smashed. Stephen played 5 tests for Australia between 85 and 1988 as well, and he played with the 1986 Kangaroos, the tour where Terry Lamb played in every match on tour. Despite suffering a serious groin injury, Steve continued to play in the grand final against Para. In 87, Stephen continued in the second row, and in 88 played in the premiership winning side against Balmain. And go watch the start of that match again and watch his uppercut ability into the head of Benny Elias. In 1989, he was the first Canterbury player to achieve 300 club games, the first. And at the end of 1989, Stephen joined Hull, but returned in 1991 to play in the playoff for 5th position against Western Suburbs. So that was a great year too. We had Jonathan, I'm pretty sure Jonathan Davis played in that 1991 side. I that might have been also the year of Ewan McGrady as well. Or was that 93? I can't remember. But yeah, that wasn't a bad season. They had some good highlights that year, and we just weren't there. And West beat us, then West got flogged in that, had to back up for like 4 days later after playing us, and got flogged by the Raiders, I think. The Raiders, I think, winning I think it was the Raiders. Maybe it wasn't. We'll see. Might have been the Tigers. I can't remember. Anyway, Stephen continued with the club as a trainer, as appointed reserve grade coach in 1996. 97, he coached the team to win the reserve grade Super League Grand Final against Auckland. In 1998, he was appointed first grade coach, and his team made the grand final against the Broncos after qualifying 9th. And in a season, which I was there, I've talked about it a lot, watched a lot of those games at Belmore. It was our last year at Belmore. We had to win, 9 of the last 11 games just to make the top 10. It was a top 10 that year, and went on that winning run. It was named in the Berries to Bulldogs 70-year team of champions in the second row. And in 2025, he was also named in the All Things Bulldogs Best 17 since 79 as a standout in the second row, getting double the amount of votes of any other player. On April 1, 2007, he was inducted in the Bulldogs Ring of Champions, retired at the end of 2008 after 11 seasons coaching, and he's been our longest ever serving coach. Unfortunately, he passed away way too young on 27th of February 2018, which will be a sad day coming up for us as we have that anniversary. He was only 59 years old and was also known as one of the fittest, hardest players in the comp. I love reminiscing about Steve, folks. For someone who's the same height as me but weighs 85 kilos, and players didn't like running at him, tells you about his toughness. And look at his position: second row lock, hooker, 5'8", come to the club as a halfback. Would go down as one of our greatest ever clubmen. Also run, whether it was the high performance trainer, I think he did that for a while as well. Coach, went on to coach the women's team as well for Australia. I think he also went and coached cricket. So there you go. What link? Steve Foakes, a legend of man. What a player he was. What a great start to the year. 100%. Thank you, Adam. Hit that like and subscribe button, everyone, because I'm still here. How you going, Michael? Great to see you, mate. Mark, your adopted son, Michael's back. Great to see. All right, everyone. I'm going to leave it on that note. Congratulations to Hazemel Magic. I didn't go through his stuff, but I will another time. We all love Hazem. What a great player. And thoroughly deserved. And well done to Johnny Greaves as well. You getting the jersey? I'm not sure yet. Look, I'm a priorities man. Jerseys cost a lot of money. And I love the fact that they make so many now, and there's so many choices and options. And if you look around my room, I just, I've got Bulldog stuff everywhere, and I've got drawers there that are just full of Bulldogs jerseys and jumpers and shirts and whatever else. But long story short, just depends on how much money I make this year and whether I pay for the stuff I need to pay for first. And that's what it comes down to. So let's hope. Congrats to El Magic. But thanks for joining, everyone. It's great to see you all. Well done to the Hall of Famers. Well done to all those picked to start in the trial this week. Especially all the youngsters are going to get an opportunity. Can't wait to watch we'll be watching on Sunday, and I look forward to seeing you all. Timmy's going to get the jersey. He loves it. But thanks for watching, Doggies fans. Go the Dogs.